didn't look all too confident as he walked off there. How is he going? Do you think he'll play?
I haven't actually. He was doing a test just pre-training, so I'm not exactly sure at this stage. But one thing I do know is we won't take any risks. I mean, against Hawthorn, you can't afford to take in players that are less than 100%. So we'll make sure that our 22 is absolutely fit and ready to play. And if like Nathan Grimer, he wasn't quite right, so we didn't select him. Lee, we wanted to give up right up until the last minute, so we may make a decision today, but we may leave it to tomorrow as well. But if he's not right, he won't play.
Just on Grimer, poor kid finally kicks a goal and he's not playing.
Yeah, well, it's certainly weakened our forward line a little bit not having him up there, or so he thinks. But he's a loss for us because you saw just not only from the way he plays, but the exuberance and the life he brings to our team as well. So he's a much loved player, and not to have him not there is a loss to us for sure.
Can you go into the specifics of his injury?
Grimer?
Yeah.
No. I mean, he's just got a foot injury, so it's we were hopeful that he might come up, and again we wanted to give him to the last minute as well, but we just at match committee we made the decision that you can't carry too many guys like Adams and Grimer all to the selection table, so we made the call on Grimer to give him at least a week. We're still hopeful he will come up next week, but we can't go in select a 22 with clouds over 2 or 3 guys.
Michael Frito back in. He's been out of favour for a few while.
No, he hasn't been out of favour. He's just there've been others ahead of him. So when you look at Scotty Thompson's out of our side at the moment, and Nathan Grimer going out means that Spud gets his opportunity, and we think he's a really important player to us. But we've had Luke Delaney come in and do well, so it's just been a function of other players ahead of him, and now he gets his chance. And he's been in really good form in the VFL, and he's over his injuries, so he's ready to play.
He's off contract, isn't he? Where does his future sit at the moment?
Like a lot of players coming to the stage of their careers as he is, that it's a decision that you've got to weigh up at the end of the year in terms of how's his body, how's his motivation to play. All those things have got to be weighed up. So we're in no great rush with Michael. It'll be a decision that he and I both come to mutually, and but there's still a couple of games to go at least, so we'll get through those and then assess where he's at.
And what about Brent Harvey? Good news?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've always been keen for him to play on, but we wanted to wait until pretty late in the season to make an absolute decision on him, just with how he was feeling mentally and physically. And you can't argue with his form. It's been terrific, and mentally he's as driven as ever, and as driven as any player I've seen. And physically he's in great shape, so it makes it a pretty easy decision.
How would you describe him? Freak of nature, or?
Yeah, I've often compared him to Dustin Fletcher, just in terms of that longevity is just incredible. I can't fathom it myself because I know how hard this game is for players these days, and it's harder than ever. And for him at his age to still be playing at the level he is remarkable. He's genetically he's very fortunate. He recovers from injuries really quickly. He recovers from training loads really quickly. But to say it's just genetics is unfair because he prepares himself like no one I've ever seen.
You mentioned Delaney before. Pretty good opportunity for him to sort of own the back line with Thompson and obviously Grimer being out.
The way we look at it is just part of it. I mean, we'll play 6 fit defenders at all times, and Michael Frito back in. He's played over 200 games. He's an experienced player, and we've got some other guys who have been in really good form back there. So we just look at it that we'll play our unit back there against whatever Hawthorn put forward, and we know that there's no shortage of stars down there in that Hawthorn forward line. So they're going to have to be at their best, and they're going to have to work together.
But he's out of contract, isn't he? And it's probably a really good opportunity to show you guys that he's around.
No, there's no concern from our end. Luke's a required player, so Luke's got nothing to prove to us. We're just looking at him improving his footy on a week-by-week basis, and he's been playing well enough in the VFL to be selected most weeks. But now with a couple of guys going down, Cam Delaney, Nathan Grimer, Scott Thompson not there, he gets his chance. And we always say to our players that when you get your chance, you've got to be able to take it, and he's well prepared to be able to take that chance, and he'll get an opportunity on some pretty good players.
Is Jack 100%, Jack Siebel?
Yeah, we wouldn't, as I said before, we wouldn't play him if he wasn't. He's got to be against Hawthorn's midfield and Hawthorn's side. Even though Jack's a really important player to us, if he's not absolutely 100%, we wouldn't play him. So he's training. I'll watch him really closely, and if I don't think he's 100%, he won't play. But all indications are at the moment he's right to go.
But just on Brent next year, do you see him as some sort of a super sub or some role like that?
Oh yeah, but I thought that 3 years ago too, and he hasn't done it yet. So yeah, look, hopefully we're getting our side to the stage where we can start to manage our team a little bit more. But he's just such a crucial part of our starting 21 at the moment that that's not something we've considered in great detail. But next year we'll consider it. But if he keeps playing like he is now, he's too valuable not to have out there for 120 minutes.
Just on Brent, I don't suppose you saw the slapping exchange between he and Nick Comer last week, did you? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I saw it. It's a tough game out for footy, isn't it? You don't get too many opportunities to show your strength and your courage, and that certainly wasn't one of them.
Did you laugh at the time?
I did. I think it's a unique situation. He's played over 350 games, Boomer. He's been subjected to all sorts of different things, but I think that's the first time I've seen that.
Can I just start, before we finish, get your thoughts on Essendon and what you've made of it all this week?
Oh, I'm just an outside observer like everyone else. I mean, I think I'm reasonably well placed as a senior coach to comment on what goes on inside, footy clubs in the inner sanctum. But I can tell you, I have no information to be able to comment on Essendon's situation, but that doesn't seem to stop many other people.
Do you look on and feel sad for the game?
Not at all. AFL football will endure. The game will always endure, just like clubs will endure. The clubs are always bigger than any individual, and the game's bigger than any one club, so the game will endure and continue on.
And Brad, what do you want to get out of these last 2 weeks against Hawks and obviously Collingwood, pretty good teams? What do you guys want?
2 wins would be nice, and we'll fight and bite and scratch and do everything we can to get those 2 wins against two really good sides. At this club's always gone into every game with an absolute intent to win, and we'll be doing that again. And it's a great challenge for our guys and one we're up for.
You looking for anything specific though, just in terms of out of players?
No, we're a lot more concerned about how our team functions rather than individuals, and we'll be working on our game style and putting it up against 2 of the best sides going around.
Fight, bite and scratch, but no pinch.
Yeah, well, it's a figurative term. I'm sure no one's going to take me literally at that. But North's always been a club that fights for everything they get, and we've never received a priority pick. We've never even entertained that concept. So the last 2 games, while people may say that it's going to be hard for us to play finals, it's another opportunity for us to hone our skills and hone the way we want to play. So we'll be doing that.
How do you look at the season? Was it wasted opportunities or?
Look, I understand the question. I think it's I've had that a few times, but it's a loser's attitude. We've improved markedly this season in a lot of areas, but we've still got clear room for improvement. If we'd won our 10 or so games that we've lost by under 10 points, we'd be sitting equal with Hawthorn and Geelong, and my honest opinion is we're not at that level yet, and we've got a lot to work on. But we're filled with confidence in the direction we're going, and I know that our supporters have got great hope and great excitement about what the future holds for us.